What's going on YouTube? Darksword255 here, where guess what? The numbers may have been randomly generated, but the content itself is not. Guys, if you're using a code to start your raid journey, this will be an amazing video for you, as well as if you just pull this champion in general. We are going to be doing a guide on Fatman here. He is an amazing epic. He will help you with so many different areas of the game. We'll be going over gear, we'll be going over relics, we'll be going over his kit, and we will be going over masteries, guys. So make sure to save this video if you have not already unlocked him, or if you have unlocked him, this will be an amazing video for you. So let's go ahead, guys, and jump right into things. Alrighty, guys, we have the fattest man of all, well, not of all. Commodus is pretty fat, but I digress. He is an amazing epic, guys. I wish that I had him at the start of my raid journey, and really throughout a lot of my game, my free-to-play journey, for example. He would have been so unbelievably impactful, guys. So let's go ahead and talk about his kit, what he does, and why he is so special. His A1 attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns, and then you can book that up. Granted, it's not a huge difference, but on an A1, you're at least able to land that decreased defense. Amazing, guys. So like your basic attack, if you're attacking, let's say clan boss, let's say you're attacking a Hydra head, let's say you're attacking Chimera, or you're just kind of progressing through the game, or even in live arena, this decreased defense just helps your team do that much more damage. His A2 attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a HP debuff and 2 poisons debuffs for 2 turns. Now, as you are progressing through the game, HP burns and poisons are your 2 most important things. It will help you progress through clan boss to get you to do extra damage. You'll do extra damage to Hydra heads. You'll be able to get some trials done in Chimera, but that's all. We don't really necessarily care about that, but it's a really still a good skill. Again, we'll be able to deal that much more damage. Will help us as we progress through the game, like I said, especially with clan boss. Really impactful skill, as well as this particular skill is good for progressing in Doom Tower when you have to fight a boss, also fighting dragon dungeons, all this stuff that you're just adding a lot more damage. Well, it's just a utility thing, right? Anyways, his A3, and this is what's really awesome. There are not a lot of champions that are epics that do this, or just champions in general that aren't legendary champions, right? Places a 30% increased crit rate buff and increased crit damage buff on all allies except this one for 3 turns. Then all allies except this champion will attack 1 target. He has an ally attack on his A3. It's absolutely amazing. Currently, at least for the time of this recording, the Mercurial set right now is very potent in arena, and having somebody who can have an ally attack will help bridge through that set, or well, not bridge, break through that set, right? Obviously newer players don't have to necessarily worry about that, but let's just say, like I said, you're more of an experienced player or a mid-game player and you pull this guy, right? We need to know and understand the fundamentals of how he works and how he can be used. So that ally attack, your entire team will attack, right, with you. I mean, obviously he doesn't attack, but that is great. You're doing a lot more damage. You're breaking through different defenses in arena. You're doing extra damage to bosses by having your team attack the boss for you. It will help you with different dungeons within the game because of that A3. Now his passive, which is kind of funny, his passive deflects 20% of oncoming damage this champion receives onto its allies. So basically, instead of him taking 20% of the damage, he just mitigates it to everybody else for them to tank it. Selfish guy, huh? The damage will spread equally across all allies. Now, making him a little bit tanky, but it's a little bit weird because he's an attack-based champion, right? But most people build him as a support mainly because of this A3 and also the A2, right? Like you're really mainly building him just to be alive and to move as fast as possible, guys. So let's go ahead, guys. Now that we've explained how his kit works, let's talk about some different gear sets, stats that we want to be aiming for, so on and so forth with Fatman over here. So admittedly, I don't have my Fatman built because I'm on my main account right now and I don't have him built, but that doesn't mean that I can't tell you the stats and the sets that you kind of want to aimed for, right? Now, as you progress your account through the game, you're going to be able to also try to get those damage requirements. I would highly suggest letting this guy be a support, and then as you progress through the game, building him for more damage, and then once you get to a point that you have a lot more flexibility with your stats, then you can do damage and basically try to aim for all the stats that we're aiming for. So first of all, let's go ahead and talk about the stats that are very, very important for Fatman. Some of the stats that are being blocked by my angelic face here are accuracy. Accuracy means we will be able to land those buffs, so landing those 2 poisons and HP burn. So it's very important, depending on where you're going to be using Fatman, that you have high accuracy to land those debuffs, right? To land the decreased defense, to land the HP burn, as well as landing the poisons, right? So that's why I recommend, when you're beginning on your raid journey or you're a mid-game account, or just getting this guy, building him more as a support is better, because it's harder to get all the stats that you want. For example, having a 100% crit rate, so every time he hits, he crits, right? As a newer account, you're not really going to be able to do that while having the accuracy requirement, while needing the speed. When you're playing with Fatman, or just in general, your golden speed is about 200 speed for most content in the game, most PvE content, right? Until you get to Hydra and Chimera and you start scaling the higher levels of that, everything is about 200 speed. So your main goal with him is you want to aim for 200 speed and 250 accuracy. 250 accuracy, you'll be able to land all your debuffs on the clan boss and most of the dungeons, right? And 200 speed means that you're going to be going before the boss or the wave, or yada yada yada. So you want to aim for around those 2 stats in general, right? As you progress through the game, or if, let's just say, like, you're my free-to-play account, right? And I pull him right now. For my free-to-play account, I would try to make him as fast as possible, right? We would want his speed to be bam 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 up there, right? Because we want him to be able to go as many times as possible, so we can go ahead and use this A3 as many times as possible. It gets puts down to a 4 turn, right? If he's moving fast, he gets more turns. More turns means that this cooldown, it comes up faster in accordance to your team. So the best stats that you want to really aim for in general with Fatman is you want accuracy to land all your debuffs. Then you want speed, and then luxury stats are crit rate, crit damage, right? Those are luxury stats, and that will help you milk out some extra damage. Obviously, the survivability is important also, but that we're using him as a support, like a support for your team. So it's always been a little bit weird. I think a lot of people have also talked about him being like based in attack. So all of his we'll see like right here, like the damage based off attack, bam, damage based off attack, stuff like that. But you don't really use him for damage. You don't build him for damage. Now, for the masteries, guys, pretty easy. And of course, I'm blocking the masteries. 1 second. I went ahead and moved my camera. Pretty straightforward. I would not try to go and do anything kind of crazy with these. War Master is what I would aim for. Obviously, these are just damage, right? If you're struggling, you can mainly go down the defense tree and maybe go with Bulwark is right here. You can go with Bulwark, but I wouldn't really go down the support tree unless you really wanted the speed. But I would just really kind of aim to do a little bit extra damage, and War Master is going to be able to do that. So I think that these are a pretty good straightforward set of masteries. I wouldn't go anything banana sandwich from here. Now, guys, moving on to the relics. Obviously, if you're a new account, you're not going to have any relics, right? As you progress through the game, you'll get those relics, but that's okay. We can talk about the relics that we're going to really want to aim for. Now, again, I understand, because in my last video that I talked about relics and in these progressions, I got yelled at saying that, oh, they're beginning to. I get it. But you want to explain the reasons why these relics are important and why they can help the champion. And yes, obviously right now, if you're a brand new account, you're not going to have this, especially the faction war relics. It's going to take you so long to get it, but if you build that understanding, you'll understand how to build this particular champion. And also, these videos are not necessarily designed for like, hey, by the way, this is only for beginner champions. Sometimes you want to see, you know, oh my God, like I just pulled this champion. Maybe I can even use him. Like, where can I use him? What are good relics? You know, you want to listen to that. Anyways, my tangent is over. Perch Shadow is probably going to be one of his best in slot relics. Yes, I know that this is not necessarily obtainable for everybody, but this is why it's great. The wearer has a 10% chance of receiving an extra turn. Again, what did we just talk about? The more times that I can go on the champion, the better. And that's kind of what we're aiming for, right? We want to be able to go as much as possible. Another good backup, again, I understand the hard faction war stuff you're not going to be able to get, but the elixir, right? The elixir is great because we're putting down poisons. We're doing a little bit extra damage. So, and again, it scales off your attack, which he's an attack-based champion. Again, more of a like later usage case for him would be using this elixir, the Fahrakin elixir, Perch Shadow. But if we're looking for survivability, you will be able to hopefully get this. If I can even find where mine are, the golden elixir is amazing, right? The golden elixir is amazing because what does it give us? It gives us attack. And as it also gives you accuracy as you level it up, but it also does this. You instantly heal 10%, and you know, this also scales. You basically are healing throughout the battle every time you take a turn, right? It's a very good and it's very accessible. And when I say very accessible, when you start to progress and do Chimera, you will get a ton of these golden elixirs. Obviously, when you're starting, it'll take you some time, but you will get these. And these are great, again, because what are the stats that we need? Accuracy is a big one. Attack is a luxury, right? The higher the attack, the more damage we do, but we really care about accuracy. Really great relics. I would kind of aim for those. I mean, if you're looking for just stats, then you can grab some of the beginner stuff, right? Now, when we're talking about sets, I know that the way to get Relentless is winning tournaments, guys. But if we can get him in Relentless, that would be amazing. 18% chance of getting an extra turn. So we are then, if we get an extra turn, we can put down those poisons and HP burns. We can use our A3 more often. So an amazing set to try to get him in. Another good option would be, again, as you're playing the game, Immortal, right? More HP and you're healing throughout. You could also go with Cruelty if you want to, you know, we're aiming for like more damage, or if you just kind of need to milk a little bit more damage. Anything that's going to give you survivability is really going to be great. It's going to take you some time to get regeneration, but that's still, you know, a pretty good set. You could also, in a pinch, I don't have any on my account, Lifesteal would be not bad also, because you're going to be healing for the amount of damage that you're doing. You know, those are what I would really aim for with him. He's an amazing champion. And again, with my free-to-play account, if I had him, especially in this meta for PvP, he would be great because you're able to break down the Total Guard, which is a set which you will unlock doing some of areas of the game called Grim Forest. And this total stack is, it's going to, like I said, it's going to take you some time, but it's very annoying, right? Not a lot of people have ally attackers. So having an ally attacker that's an epic, which you will probably get this champion before you get like a Lady Mikage, which is a mythical. But you know, there's so many legendary champions that give you the ally attack, but this right here, you already have the ability to deal with the chicanery of what is happening in PvP. He's a great support for wave clearing. He does amazing stuff for, let's say, Fire Knight. Quickly, I'm not going to jump into the actual dungeon, but how Fire Knight works is you need to hit the Fire Knight a certain amount of times to break the shield down. He's great because if you have a team of, here we go, like let's say we have a team like this, right? And we have Fatman in here. Normally I would change out Podreg. Could change out Podreg. And I have the ally attack from Fatman. I have enough time. I'm giving myself an additional 4 hits. You know, obviously these people have different hits, like the Canute and stuff hits 3 times, but you know, you're hitting the shield and getting it down a lot quicker and easier. And as you progress, you will struggle to get through Fire Knight. Fire Knight is extremely difficult to progress through. It's probably one of the hardest dungeons in the game to get through in general. Like even you know, I don't necessarily struggle with it on my main account. My free-to-play account cannot get through Fire Knight hard. Can't. Doesn't have the right champions. Doesn't have the right champions. I really need some more ally attackers on that account. But you know, I don't have a fat man on that account. So you know, he's great in all these different dungeons. He's great in so many different areas of the game. I hope that this guide helps you out, guys. If you think that I am missing different areas, I just feel like it's a little bit redundant for me to jump into like a fight just to show you. I mean, I literally literally just read the skills, right? And explained like kind of how he will be good for your account. But if you want me to showcase, hey, like let's jump into this, this, and this, I would rather just do like a whole dungeon guide personally. But let me know, guys. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope that you I get your raid start on the right foot, and I will see everybody in the next video.